Hey guys, this is Juan with the Cine-Men Movie Podcast, letting you know that this episode is brought to you by San Marcos Mexican Restaurants, located right here at 2301 Southwest 59th Street in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Give them a check out as you can dine in or call them for to-go order at 405-685-7773. Let Abel know that the Cine-Men Movie Podcast sent you free 10% off your order. And don't forget, Wednesday margaritas, frozen or on the rocks, $5 Margarita Wednesdays every Wednesday at San Marcos Mexican Restaurant. Great food and even better customer service. And don't forget, let them know that the Cine-Men Movie Podcast sent you. San Marcos, it's the only dine-in restaurant of the Cine-Men Movie Podcast.
A piece of me?
Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Good morning, Vietnam! I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I feel the need for speed.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Love means never having to say you're sorry.
You do? You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
Happy Monday, moviegoers. Welcome to a new episode. Welcome to Men, and welcome to the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. I'm your host, Juan, and I am joined here by the cast, the crew, the guys. Craig? Craig is gone. Edward.
I'm here. I'm just playing. What's up, guys?
Out of nowhere, just like an RKO. Edward?
Yeah.
How's it going, guys?
Sorry, I thought that would be funny. It probably wasn't.
I completely thought you were gone. No, that's funny. And for everybody out there in podcast land, you can listen and watch. We are live here on Imswa Productions. Guys, as they here on the YouTube channel, over now 800 subscribers on the YouTube channel for Imswa Productions. Wrestling, podcasts, horror movies, the Cine-Men Movie Podcast, fanboys, whatever you guys want. Behind the Mask with Mr. Fuentes, all the content you need right here on this YouTube channel. Brand new content coming out every single day. But Edward, we'll start with you. How's your week been?
Man, it's been kind of a
shit
here
show
and there. I mean, not necessarily a shit show, just a lot going on. Been all right though. It's been all right. I mean, I'm here, so hey.
Craig, what about you? You boomer soonering it up?
I've been big chilling. Yeah,
Dark in there.
Just been. Is it?
No,
I can turn on the light.
No.
I feel like my camera is.
I'm scared. I'm scared.
Setting the mood, man. I'm setting the mood.
With a movie like we're talking about today, you have to set the mood. We're talking about Men, the brand new horror movie from A24, recently just came out this past summer. But we're gonna get ready to get into it, guys. Why take any slow
More
roads?
of your time.
More of your time. A look back, though, speaking of not taking your time away from you, bonus episodes, Thursdays. This past Thursday, we just talked about Under the Silver Lake. Me, Craig, and Edward. You can go back and listen to that episode now on Imswa Productions or wherever you listen to podcasts at. Kind of a very strange, very, very strange episode and strange movie for that matter. So, oh, look at me. I'm still an award from Ed. Oh,
Hey.
man. What a weird word. Ed, stop saying that word. You're making all of us want to say it.
What word?
Hey, you know.
Say it, Ed.
No,
Moist?
go ahead.
No. Say it. Nah,
What's
see,
the
he don't want to
word?
say it now. He says for that matter like 20,000 times.
For that matter.
Well, for that matter, I'm going to go ahead and say it once. But you know, it's
You know,
it's all
the sentence
explaining.
really doesn't make sense when you use for that matter.
And for that matter, you're wrong.
Okay.
It was a great weekend for me. The boys got that dub, even though it was a preseason game. They looked really, really good. Special teams, touchdowns all over the place.
Oh, yeah, the
Um,
special teams look nice.
yeah. Who also looked nice? Mr. Will Greer. I think he's slowly sneaking up to take that backup
Second spot.
spot. Yeah.
Over Ben DiNucci? Is he still there?
Ben DiNucci's third string right now. Oh no, he's fourth string. Yeah. So I don't think he's gonna last. I think he'll get booted to the practice squad. But if you guys want to listen to Under the Silver Lake, go back and listen to it wherever you listen to podcasts at. Anchor, Spotify, Podbean, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Stitcher, and thanks to the Prescribed Films Network, you can also listen to us on Apple Podcasts. So go to www.prescribedfilms.com and check us out there. You can check us out, the Movie Defenders, Attack of the Killer podcast, and a bunch of other great podcasts as well. Social media, very easy to find us on these social media accounts. Facebook.com/The Cine-Men Movie Podcast. The Instagram is all one word, The Cine-Men Movie Podcast. The Twitter is @Cine-Men405, or you can email us. Easiest, fastest way to get a hold of us, CINEMEN921 @gmail.com. And that is how we can contact you, or you can contact us. New top 5 every week, some recent watches and recommendations. We go through it all. Craig, we also go through Rodeo Cinema, and we're going to have a special event this Thursday at Rodeo Cinema. Go ahead and let everybody know what we're going to be doing this Thursday.
Yeah, so this Thursday we're going to be doing a Q&A and watching a showing of the movie The Room with, help me with the name again.
Greg Sestero.
So yeah, we're just this Thursday at 5:30.
Doors open up at 5. You guys
Okay.
can. The movie and the show starts at 7 p.m. So you guys can go in there and check it out. You can meet Greg Sestero and watch The Room for $20. But if you use our code OHIMARK, you get 50% off your ticket purchase. You can get in for $10. That's OHHIMARK. And Craig, let everybody know why OHIMARK is the pre-sale code.
Because that's like that was the big phrase coming out of the movie The Room.
OHIMARK.
Oh, hi, Mark. James Franco kind of made it really big in his version of The Room and The Disaster Artist. And it's just when if you go and you've never seen the movie, it's a cult classic. So
Yeah, many consider it to be the worst movie of all the times.
The times. But at the same time, it is considered a cult classic. There's a big following for it. A lot of people like to watch it. And yeah, so I mean, I think it's going to be a good time, fun time. I've personally never seen The Room. I've seen The Disaster Artist, and they kind of show it at the end clips that it mirrors it pretty well. So I think it's just going to be a cool time to be able to see it for the first time and meet somebody who was in the movie.
Yeah, me too. Never seen it as well. Looking forward to it this Thursday. But now, let's get into some movie news. Turn it up, as they say. Turn it up, Craig.
I can't.
Turned up. Guys, I'm going to start off with some box office news. Dragon Ball Z Superhero, Dragon Ball Super, I guess is the name of the movie. $20 million opening weekend.
So it's Dragon Ball Superhero.
There you go. $20 million opening weekend. Ed, just in time for our anime episodes getting ready to pop out next week from Thursday, September the 1st, with me, Edward, and our special guest. Coming in at number 2 is Beast with $11 million. Number 3, Bullet Train with $8 million. Number 4, guys, is still Top Gun Maverick with $4 million. No, $5.9 million in this past weekend. DC Super Pets, $5.7 million. Thor: Love and Thunder finishes out at $4 million this weekend.
It's actually insane.
What, the Top Gun news?
Yes, that it's still producing. Like, we just talked about. What movie did we talk about last Monday?
Bodies, bodies, bodies.
What did we talk about Thursday?
Under the Silver Lake.
Under the Silver Lake. It has been out for how long? And it didn't even make that in its entirety.
Yeah.
Top Gun made that in like week 19 in the box office.
Also, guys, Netflix reveals the release date for Knives Out 2, Glass Onion. Comes out this November in very select theaters, also just on Netflix. Do you guys think that's going to take anything away from a Knives Out sequel because of how awesome the first one was? Or are you going to be like, I'm still going to sit at home and check it out?
Potentially. I mean,
I'm going to be a fan. If it's available to watch at home, I'm going to watch it at home. I'm just not. Knives Out was good, but it's not a movie that I deem necessary to see on the biggest screen possible.
Thor: Love and Thunder will be on Disney Plus on September the 8th, I believe, the second Thursday of September. Not really a lot of other stuff coming out. Jurassic World gets an extended cut on Blu-ray 4K and streaming. So just when I thought that movie couldn't really get any longer, they have a freaking extended cut. I don't even know. I mean, I'm probably gonna check it out. I bought the movie. I don't know why. What do you guys think of House of Dragons? I know that's getting either already aired or it is getting ready to air.
It aired last night.
Do you think it's too soon with how bad season 8 was of Game of Thrones? Or, I mean, season 8 wasn't necessarily bad. I don't think. Just it left bad taste in people's mouths.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's too soon. I think it might be the better thing for it, for that
Did
matter.
you check it? Did you check it out, Ed?
I have
go for
not.
that matter again.
I did.
But
I did.
We'll talk about it in recent watches.
I don't know. Just yeah.
Yeah, not really a lot of heavy news coming out. We talked a whole lot about some movie news last week.
That we did.
So that being said, let's get into. I think we're gonna hold off and we'll talk some CDR. You know, the weather's getting cooler. You might need some. You might need some new headphones. Headphone season is coming in. A lot of people use headphones. Put the beanies on. You can hide them if you're at work or something. Rat bastards.
I know, right?
CDR Electronics, 1604 West I-240 Service Road, right here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Check them out as CDR serves the OKC metro area with the best value for your electronics, whether it be headphones, tablets, watches, iPhones, computers, desktops, laptops, TVs, video games. And speaking of video games, you can check out and pick up Madden 23 for half the price. You know, why pay $70 for it when you can pay $50 for it? So CDR has always been good to me, and I appreciate everything that you can go pick up from CDR. That is one of the main reasons why the shelf behind me is as girthy as the way it is, thanks to the fine people at CDR. Again, CDR Electronics, 1604 West I-240 Service Road. And if you walk in the door and you look and you still don't buy anything, let them know that the Cine-Men Movie Podcast sent you. So, but guys, let's get into maybe some recent watches and recommendations. Ed, we'll start with you. You check anything new or fun or exciting out?
Yeah, man. So Orphan First Kill. Check that out.
Did you go to the theater?
I don't know. No, I did not. I watched it at home.
Of course you did.
On damn it, Johnny. I watched it at home. I did, however, go to the theater.
Hold on a second. Craig, did you see it? Orphan First Kill?
No, I don't care about it.
That's in my recent watches. Edward, I thought it was pretty fucking amazing. I thought it was pretty cool. The two twists that I did not see that twist coming. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody out there, but I didn't see the twist where the mom was involved the way she was.
I kind of did.
Of course, of course you did. Edward
No,
saw it a mile away.
no, not very far at all, for that matter.
Here we go.
I had my suspicions when the one line is uttered, as well as when the one boy, says his line as well.
What's the line? You're not going to spoil the movie when he says the line.
I killed Esther, all this,
You killed Esther?
He doesn't say that though until the mother reveals the whole plan.
right. But I mean, don't get me wrong, like with that was, that, I don't know, that was kind of just his way of trying to be a dominant, but that obviously failed.
I've never seen the first one, and I'm like, you know what?
What?
I didn't. Yeah, I know, right? And I didn't know that the second one was going to be a prequel. And I was about to watch the first one like a few weeks ago, and I was like, oh no, the second one is a prequel. So I'm just going to wait and watch it after that. So not knowing anything about the first Orphan movie, I really did enjoy how this one set up the actual first one.
So this one goes ahead and actually ties in a few things that she was taught. It ties it in to the original, for that matter.
Good.
But
I honestly,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I honestly enjoyed it. Like, it was only like an hour and 40 minutes. It didn't spend too much time on anything outlandish. I thought it was unique. Again, I probably thought it was unique because I haven't seen the first one. I saw it in the movie theaters, and the movie theater was half packed, probably about 20, 25 people. And with that being a Paramount Plus movie, I was like, wow, I'm surprised that I'm glad that many people went out to go see it. I would honestly, I think I gave it a 7. I enjoyed it for what it was.
That's pretty fair.
What about you?
I'd agree.
Yeah, 7.
I would agree 7. Yeah.
What else you check out?
I did go to the theater, and I seen Dragon Ball Superhero. Man, gotta love it. That thing was nostalgia meets new meets a little bit of a mix, for that matter. I'm not going to spoil it for any of you guys out there. If you really want to go see it, if you've been wanting something since Dragon Ball Z, like the Cell Saga, you need to go see it because they finally do my boy justice. Finally do him justice. He can hold his own. So yeah. Not only that, but if you expect to see Goku and Vegeta throughout the whole thing, you are sorely mistaken, and that was one of the best things I thought about it. It was predominantly the big two are Gohan and Piccolo, and it was kind of their story along with other villainous characters and some of the Z fighters. So
fajitas, was that with or without vegetables?
Without vegetables. Bulma was on the other side of the universe. So yeah, if you expect to see Goku and Vegeta the entire time, sadly mistaken. Go see it though. Amazing movie.
You said this is more of a Piccolo movie?
Piccolo and Gohan. Yes. So yeah,
I like
the Great Sandman.
I like Piccolo with a little bit of mustard.
I know. I heard he was badass in this movie.
How many stars would you give Superhero, Ed?
Fucking 10.
Oh my god.
Like 10 thrown up. Okay.
I can't believe I'm talking anime with you in just 2 weeks.
Legitly, like the ones that I get into, like I've been into Dragon Ball since I was like 7 or 6 or something like that, dude. For 24 years, okay?
Anybody who got into anime started with Dragon Ball.
Not anybody, but 90% of us. Like anybody 25 and older, it's one of the two.
And I hope
Dragon
you're
Ball
ready.
Or Naruto.
I hope you're ready next week.
Or Gundam.
Oh,
I hope
too. And dude, I am. I've been doing a lot of research, so
yeah. Because you better grab this anime horn by the bulls, and yeah, you better drive this ship because I don't know how well I'm gonna do talking a bunch of anime. But
you got it.
Week number 2, September the 8th, we're talking. Is it Akira? the movie from the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's my pick. Yeah, I picked that shit.
nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. What else did you check out? Anything else?
Man, just kind of been practicing on my side hobby right now, trying to get better at it. Other than that, that's been kind of it. I honestly kind of forgot about Dragon Ball Super being out until the day after it came out because I was going to see it Friday, but I ended up seeing it Saturday. So there's that. But yeah, those are the only two that are worth noting for that matter.
For that matter, motherfucker really wants a shirt, don't he?
I don't even think about it.
It
I'm
just comes
sorry.
out.
Yes, it does.
Like sap coming out of a tree.
Pretty true.
And
So
people don't
after
like sap.
after Bodies last week, after Bodies, I checked out the Tree of Seas. Matthew McConaughey, A24 is pretty. It was okay, honestly. Leprechaun, Friday the 14th, terrible. Under the Silver Lake, if you guys want to hear the review with me, Craig, and Edward, go check it out. Farewell Amore was a Criterion release that I checked out. It was okay. Dirty Dancing is always a joy. Orphan First Kill, really enjoyed it. First Cow for an upcoming A24 episode. I enjoyed Men watching that for today's episode. But you want to know what I kind of watched and I didn't want to enjoy it, but you know what I ended up enjoying? She-Hulk. I didn't want to enjoy it, and I saw how the runtime was only 30 minutes. But you know what? I think having Bruce Banner in almost the entire episode was smart. And what can I say? It's Mark Ruffalo. When Mark Ruffalo's on the screen, whether it's him or Smart Hulk, he's really, really funny. And I think it's because of Mark Ruffalo. I didn't like the CGI from the way the She-Hulk looked. I didn't even like the CGI from the way the Hulk looked. He looked not up to par either. But you know what? Um, Mark Ruffalo and Tatiana, who plays She-Hulk, they were funny together. They had tremendous chemistry. And you know what? If I had to give a star rating to episode 1, I would honestly probably give it a 6. Like, it's fine, but Mark Ruffalo stole the show and they were both just real funny together. Craig, did you get to watch episode 1 at least?
Nope.
No?
I don't plan
Not
on watching it.
interested? No.
I'm not interested.
I would suggest to watch it just for Mark Ruffalo.
What up, Nick H?
It's funny, and I think it's worth a watch. So
I'll probably check it out, but I have no desire. I don't want to give them credit when they half-assed the CGI.
Yeah. And then Orphan First Kill, like I said during Ed's rewatch, it was a fun movie, fun horror movie. I was surprised it was rated R. If I could sit here and nitpick it, but I can also just sit here and appreciate how original a prequel it was, and how they, just kind of gave you a twist. And fun horror movie, and I think that's what a good horror movie needs to do, is to just make you go in there and have fun. So I would recommend that. Go see it in theaters or go check it out on Paramount Plus. Craig, what about you? You check anything out this week that was fun?
I got Madden, and I've been playing Madden a lot. Even though I said I wouldn't, I tried it, and I thought it was pretty good this year. A lot better than enough for me to justify buying it.
So what was better about it?
It just feels smoother, in my opinion. Like, yes, there's some issues with the O-line and how fast the line breaks down and you can get to the court. But, like, it's just the field sense that they added to it is better. The pinpoint passing is better. I just feel like when you go up for an interception, it's not in an animation. Like, it's actually a 50-50. I just think they improved on a few things here and there.
I did get to do an interception with a guy who reached over a player and snatched the ball. You know how that happens in real life? and he kind of hugs the receiver, but he still has the ball.
And it takes it. Yeah.
That animation did happen in the game, and I was like, okay, that looks pretty good. You know, years past in PS3, PS2, the ball would just go through the receiver.
Yeah.
You know, or even last year, you know, it would still kind of look a little off. But no, yeah, I agree. It's a little bit more polished. Yeah,
I agree. I think it's one of the best. I'd say it's probably the best since 2015.
You give star ratings to video games, Craig?
I'll give Madden a 7. I think it's still the same old Madden, but I think they improved it enough to make me very interested for NCAA next year. So other than that, been watching preseason, watched Men for the episode, and I watched House of Dragons.
What'd you think?
It's different because it's set, I think it's 172 years before Daenerys Targaryen. So current Game of Thrones era. And so I think once you kind of get past the point of there's going to be 0 characters that I know in this movie, only kind of last name and housing, like, the House of Dragons, the Targaryens, that kind of stuff. Once you get past that, it was kind of, I wouldn't say difficult to understand the route they're going, but I think they're just going to do like a battle for who's claiming rights to the Iron Throne for when the Targaryens held the Iron Throne. Because, you know, in Game of Thrones, it was held by...
Lannisters.
Yes.
Well, Baratheons. Sorry.
Yeah. So I think that's just the route they're going. It was pretty brutal in a couple scenes, but...
brutal as in, like, just gore?
Like, yeah, they're, like, beating the shit out of this dude's arm, and then it finally breaks off. Like, they break it first, and then they cut it off. And then it shows, like, a pile. Yeah, it was pretty brutal, but it's about an hour, 10-minute watch, I think,
golly,
per episode.
Are there any other houses other than the Targaryens that we know of, or are there like Starks, Baratheons, or
no? I think it's really just dealing with the Targaryens right now. I mean, there's other houses in it, but in episode 1, it's really just dealing with them and who is going to be the heir to the Iron Throne.
Okay.
So, spoiler alert for episode 1.
Jeez. If you guys do want to have any recommendations of your own, don't forget, this is Recent Watches, and you guys can hit us up on the social. Send us in some of your recommendations or recent watches. And you know what? Some listeners' recommendations have turned into episodes. So hit us up and talk to us because we enjoy it.
Yeah.
But speaking of enjoying it, Ed, he enjoys an icy cold beverage every now and again. Ed, let him know what you're drinking.
Man, so if you go ahead and hit up OKC Soda Company, it is literally one of the best things out there. You can go ahead and get any of their sodas online, or well, not online, but at, what is it, Crest?
Crest. Hit up the Crest for Jesus sakes.
OKC Soda is the craft soda company of Oklahoma. Super unique flavors like strawberry shortcake and blueberry acai. Made with pure cane sugar and all natural flavors. They have the new watermelon flavor, lemonade flavor. That was just in time for summer. They've got flavors like orange cream soda, all that good stuff right there. So if you haven't tried anything unique or anything, or maybe a Coke or whatever is boring to you anymore, try one of these OKC sodas. I promise you, you'll be pleased.
They aren't heavy.
Yeah, that's very true.
You want
Natural
answers?
cane.
I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
All right, guys. It is time for the truth. Some truth facts about the episode that we're talking about here today. Men. Should be pretty interesting.
Truth is, it's disturbing.
Alex Garland's third feature film that he has directed. Sonia Mizuno has acted in all of them. Though just a voice performer in this film, that one spoiler. Actors Jesse Buckley and Gail Rankin have both previously portrayed Queen Victoria in Doolittle 2020 and The Greatest Showman 2017, respectively. Man, a lot of these are spoilers. But the plastic mask of a blonde woman that the young Jeffrey wears clearly symbolizes the lack of women in the town and obsession with femininity. The rest of these are spoilers, but I'm going to say this last one and then we'll move on because the rest of them are pretty heavily in spoilers. Prior to the reveal that the men in the village are all the same oh no, that's just too thick.
Spoiler.
Too thick on the spoilage, too girthy on the spoilage. So again, with this movie being brand new, we will go back to maybe some of the truth a little later on down. We'll probably mention some of it in the actual review.
We
But
should
yeah,
do that.
yeah. But guys, it's time. And it is time to get ready to talk about Red and Blues Pizza. Red and Blues Pizza not only sponsors the show, but they are a heavy favorite of the top 5. Red and Blues Pizza, 405-602-2838, located right here at 4500 South May Avenue in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. They're open Monday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Red and Blues Pizza. They have amazing pizza, great deals. They also have cheese bread, sandwiches, wings, gyros. They just now introduced cheeseburgers. They also have cinnamon sticks. So go check them out. Like I said, they are the main sponsor and the only sponsor for the top 5. They have proclaimed that this is their segment. So the top 5 is sponsored by Red and Blues Pizza. As you can go in there and order a top 5 of your own and get whatever 5 toppings that you would like on your pizza. So check them out, Red and Blues Pizza, located right here in Oklahoma City. But speaking of the top 5, let's dig into it. All right, guys, this week, this entire month of August, the top 5s have been A24 themed. This week, we are talking our top 5 A24 men characters. So a few weeks ago, we talked about our top 5 A24 female characters. This week, because we're talking about men, we're talking about our top 5 male A24 characters. So before we get started, does anybody have any honorable mentions?
No.
I'm going to rapid fire through mine. Craig, do you have any?
Yeah, I got a few.
I'll go first. Juan from Moonlight. Mahershala Ali. He's only in it for a little bit, but that's why he's an honorable mention. Adam, played by Jake Gyllenhaal from Enemy. And then my official honorable mention is going to be Gawain from The Green Knight. Craig, what about you?
My 2 are Andrew Garfield and James Franco.
Number 5.
5.
Number 5 for me is going to be Robert Pattinson. But what movie you say? Robert Pattinson plays Connie in Good Time. This movie is hands on your knees, palms sweaty, sitting on the edge of your seat from start to finish. Robert Pattinson gives a thrilling performance as Connie, and he is just an unbelievable character from start to finish. So number 5 favorite male character is going to be Connie from Good Time. So, Craig, number 5 for you?
Number 5 for me is going to be Lakeith Stanfield from Uncut Gems.
Nice. That's a good number 5. Good number 5. Edward, number 5 for you.
Craig, I feel like I'm following you. Uh, literally same. I he makes it good to where like you kind of want to dislike his character. Lakeith Stanfield, Uncut Gems for that matter as well. He makes you want to like unlike his character for that matter, just because he's such a jerk in several different scenes to Adam Sandler's character. So you're rooting for Adam Sandler the whole time, and he's just a complete douche to him, to be honest. So yeah, Lakeith Stanfield. Wow, bringing 12 years ago, huh?
It's sad more that song played is it's more sad that the time frame of that song. Number 4.
I was a senior.
Number 4 for me is going to be Bobby, played by Willem Dafoe, from the Florida Project. Man, I highly recommend this movie, even though the tenets in this movie are complete. I'm just going to say it, trailer trash. I don't want me to offend anybody, but that's how they proceed to be in this movie. Just complete trash. They're rude to Willem Dafoe's character. They trash his hotel complex. They do anything they can to disrupt the employees, the customers, the people who are just visiting. But you know what? At the end of the day, Willem Dafoe and his character in this movie is genuine, heartfelt, and he goes out of his way to protect the little girls and their mom in this movie, even though he doesn't need to. And I don't want to spoil too much with going into it, but honestly, I really kind of wanted to move him up a little bit more in the movie. But the Florida Project is outstanding, and Willem Dafoe is just that much more. So number 4 for me is going to be Bobby, played by Willem Dafoe, for the Florida Project. Craig, number 4 for you.
Number 4 for me is going to be Oscar Isaac in Ex Machina. He plays the character Nathan, who is, from what I can recall, he's a programmer, just a guy, a big entrepreneur, programs things. And the way that he plays the character Caleb, played by Domhnall Gleeson, the way he just manipulates him and plays him, like Oscar, like we were all kind of stunned with Oscar Isaac's performance in Moon Knight, how he just flips the switch. He got it from that. He flips the switch like it's nothing in that movie, and it's just a damn good role and film. So,
Edward, number 4 for you, sir.
Number 4 for me, I am going to go ahead and choose. Oh, hi, Mark, from Midsummer. Will Poulter. Will Poulter. Yeah, he played Mark in Midsummer.
Okay.
Yeah. He's just an ass, wanting to steal someone else's subject matter for their paper, wanting to go ahead and just desecrate, maybe unknowingly, but desecrate religious or sacred religious things from this village. So I mean, yeah, dude's an asshole, and
He gets what he gets what's his though.
I was about to say, I was literally about to say that exact same phrase. So yeah,
you guys are getting paid.
Oh no, nah, but Will Poulter, I like him, and he's always always great at being a jerk, always good at it.
Yeah, he looks like Sid.
Yeah,
it's ingrained into our DNA to think he's a jerk.
Yeah, I mean, he needs to do that role grown up or something. I don't know. Live action.
3.
Number 3 for me is going to be Mikey, played by Simon Rex, from the movie Red Rocket.
Okay. That movie was terrible. Yes.
Have you seen it?
I watched it. Yes.
I'm glad you watched it. But you know what? Even though the movie was not really up to par, I have to put him in this because of how outlandish and insanely good he played a piece of shit guy. He did what you wanted to do in that movie. Mikey is a washed up porn star who returns to his small town in Texas. Um, Not that anybody really wants him back. And
He shows up out of nowhere to that first lady's house, and she's like, "What the hell are you doing here?"
what do you think about the ending scene where they take his cash and he's ass naked running to that lady's house?
I don't remember.
Oh,
Anyway, I'll have to go back and refresh it. I don't remember the ending.
Even though the movie is 2 hours and 10 minutes, it's 20 minutes longer than it should be. Like honestly, me and Craig say, it's not really the best A24 movie, but his performance, man, is just, you know what? It makes me remember that movie, and it makes that movie kind of just it hits you in the feels, even though he's a fuck up and he's taking advantage of everybody he comes across. Um, the actor, Simon.
Cal?
No, Simon.
Simon Rex.
Simon Rex just really makes Mikey stand out as a character.
That's a piece of shit.
Yeah. So I got to give him props.
He's in a rap group with who is the short kid that was on MTV?
I know who you're talking about. The one who was on was he on Punk'd?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about. I don't know his name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he's in a rap group with them called I'll have to look it up. I can't remember. It's a funny ass group though. They don't do it anymore.
But that's my number 3, Mikey from Red Rocket. Craig, who's your number 3?
My number 3 is Adam Sandler from Uncut Gems. Steps out from his norm and completely nails the just kind of Boston jeweler, gambler, just kind of, I don't know. It's just he nails the role. It's really good. He steps out from really anything that he's ever done, and it's just a good role. So it's my number 3.
Good role, Edward. Number 3 for you, sir.
Number 3 for me, I'm going to go with Steven Yeun, and I am going to go ahead and have him as Jacob from Minari.
Yes. Minari.
Don't get me wrong, this is a little bit biased, but at the same time, I thought he was wonderful in it. He's been one of my guys since, Walking Dead, of course. That's where I was introduced to him. But ever since then, like almost anything he comes into or is acting in or whatever, I want to watch. Literally, for me, Walking Dead, when he got killed, it was over for me. Like I was good. So literally to see him branch out and do these movies and all that like this, and like Nope and different things like that he's done over these years, I've loved it, and I can't wait to see him in more.
Ed was like, Ricky!
Oh shit.
2.
Yeah.
Johnny, what's your number 2?
Man, I heard somebody say the word bias earlier. My number 2 is Adam Sandler from Uncut Gems. It's Adam Sandler in real life turned all the way up, including a little, maybe a little gambling addiction there. But I just believe that Adam Sandler is the GOAT when it comes compared to being an actor. You know what? Yeah, he can create a funny, sleazy comedy, but then he can do stuff like Hustle, and then he can do stuff like Uncut Gems. And I really believe deep down, he is one of the greatest pure actors that is living inside of a teenager's body, because he can put it together, dude. He can really just go. Uncut Gems proves it. It's a movie, put out by the Safdie brothers, just like Good Time. So, I'm being a little biased here, but Adam Sandler for being Howard is my number 2, man. Great movie. I could watch it from start to finish multiple times a day.
I want to pause for a quick second. I found that rap group you're talking about. It's Three Loco, and it's with Andy Milonakis.
Milonakis, yeah.
Sorry.
We are farmers. Yeah, they have a little. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I listened to all their songs. My number 2 is going to be what?
Number 2 for you, sir.
No, number 2 for me is going to be Willem Dafoe from The Lighthouse. Dude, just
He kills it.
he kills it. The lingo, the way that he acts for the time period that the movie's set in. The movie's black and white, so it really takes you have to go to another level to help make the movie feel fuller. It's also shot in, what was it, 4x3, 3x4?
Yeah.
The old style box set TV things.
The 4x3, isn't that like a breakfast thing at Denny's?
Yeah. So he just had to take it up a notch to like Emerald Glassy. Bam! Kick it up a notch.
He knocked it out of the park too with that performance.
He did. And you didn't have to see his dick. So
whoa. Number 2 for you, Eduardo.
Number 2 for me, I'm going to go ahead and go similar, but not truly similar. I'm going to go ahead and go with Robert Pattinson. Good Time. I don't know. Robert Pattinson has grown on me in the past 5 years, 3 years, somewhere in there. And literally, I'm not afraid or ashamed to admit, a year and a half, 2 years ago, I was like, dude, I don't know about him being the Batman. But, the Batman,
he proved your ass wrong.
No, 100%. I'm not afraid or ashamed to admit that at all. I am proud to have been. Oh, yeah. But nah, man. The broadness, just the aspect ratio that he has now, his range is ridiculous. So I mean, honestly, to know that he came from a Harry Potter and Twilight, as in mainstream for that matter, and then he's been just going ever since and growing ever since as well. That's a huge thing, and I'm happy that he proved me wrong. I am purely happy with that Batman as well as him in Good Time. It was strange, but it was cool at the same time. And then, Lighthouse, he was opposite Willem Dafoe for that matter, so that's another one in his cap, and Good Time and Lighthouse are both A24, so there's that.
Number 1. Number 1 for me, I didn't put 2 and 2 together. This kind of just happened. So even though it's his year, it's just a coincidence. Number 1 is going to be Denzel, as he plays Macbeth from the tragedy Macbeth. The movie itself is a little hard to watch, just because of the lingo that they use, and it's black and white. But dude, it's Denzel doing Shakespeare, and he just is the greatest of all time. I don't think you cannot put him in this conversation or this character. I did look at this list as what 5 characters entertained me, but then I did have to put, okay, what kind of movie would this be if the character and the actor did not play the character? So the actor did kind of come into play a little bit for me. Denzel, man, he's on a whole nother level. The dude's getting a whole month dedicated to him this year. The entire year has been dedicated to him this year. And then he's going to have an entire episode dedicated to the guy this year. So I won't spend too much time on it. Number 1, Denzel Washington for playing Macbeth, tragedy Macbeth. Number 1 for me. Craig?
I feel like that's cheating because he was in one A24 film, and
I mean, one's enough though.
Yeah, the movie was good. Not to me, but it was accepted well amongst people. Yes, it's Denzel, but I feel like that's cheating, dude. Yeah, you can put him number 1. I'm gonna go Robert Pattinson, just because of. And I agree with you. His range is undeniable. He is able to. He fits the A24 narrative. He goes toe to toe with Willem Dafoe in The Lighthouse. He is able to command a screen by himself on not High Life.
Good Time.
Yeah, no, I was High Life. I still haven't seen Good Time, but Johnny highly recommends it.
Before A24 month ends next week.
Relax, dude. Relax. I got it. It's on my list.
Next week is the final A24 month. You have to.
I will watch it tonight. All right. I mean, I'm sure I'm missing another movie that he's in A24.
The Rover. You have to check out the Rover too.
See, and where was he at on your list?
Mine?
Yeah,
He was not on my list.
I thought he was number 5.
But yet in A24.
Oh yeah. He was number 5. I had him
Okay.
as Connie for Good Time.
Yeah.
So see, he's
But
on
in
my list.
A24, he's in arguably the most number of movies compared to everyone else.
He is.
He plays a huge range, going from High Life to The Lighthouse to what I suppose is incredible and Good Times. So it's like,
I had him
my man's got to be number 1. So
He's
yeah, that's my
great.
number 1.
He's great. Edward, finish us all off. What's number 1?
Man, so Craig, me and you kind of have similar ideas, but we're reversed. I am going with Sir Willem Dafoe. I don't think he's a sir, but at the same time,
he's gonna be.
I mean, a lot of mine have been directed
Sir
towards
D.
progress, towards range, towards just the ability to make you hate that character, even though you think the actor's pretty cool. Different stuff like that, or even just a slight bias. This one is kind of all wrapped into one almost, because literally from Boondock Saints to playing in Spider-Man to this The Lighthouse to even Antichrist, something as outlandish as that. Willem Dafoe just has those freaking ranges that is. I don't know if he was like, yo, Robert, come here, man, I got to talk to you, or what, but it's incredible what he can do. And Willem Dafoe is to me one of the best actors out there, as in any kind of specifics you need for that matter.
He was like, "Aye, Robert, come here and let's sing a shanty."
Don't you fuck with my lighthouse. Hold on now, what?
See, but so I'm looking at a list of male actors.
Yeah.
And the reason I went with my list is because I went based off of their performances in the A24. Yeah. I feel like you guys are kind of encompassing their entire career. Somewhat. Whereas if we were to do that.
Oh, no. My list was solely based on how important they were to the movie they were in, and how important they were to the character in the movie. So, okay. like my number 5, Connie Good Time, Bobby Florida Project, Red Rocket for Mikey, Howard Uncut Gems, and then Denzel. Okay. How good would Uncut Gems be if maybe
Miles Teller
was in Uncut Gems? So I graded it off of those 3 things: actor, how important the character was made in the movie, other than the movie.
I was about to say, I've basically done it towards what movies I've seen them in A24, nothing else other than that.
Edward put all the names in the hat and just took them out of that.
And at number 5.
Well, no, I'm just saying, with, Robert Pattinson, including that with his entire works, and Willem Dafoe and even Stephen Yin, it's just, I find them, really good. And, for me, if I didn't know those actors and was I wouldn't mind seeing that, sure. Because I was like, Minari, okay.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
So if, Edward, you're number 1. Willem Dafoe. Craig's your number 1, Robert Pattinson. Mine was Denzel. If you guys want to play along, let us know your top 5 men characters from A24 movies, or your top 5 male characters in A24 movies.
I'm changing it. Mine's all 5 from the movie that we're talking about today.
There you go. We're sharing it next Monday in the email segment right here on the podcast. If you can even get it in now, go ahead and stick it in, get it in now, and I'll read it before this episode is over.
Get it in.
Get it in.
Get in where you fit in.
But speaking of what we're talking about today we are talking all about Men, the recent A24 horror film. IMDb gives it a 6.1. Rotten Tomatoes is at 69%. The Metascore is at 65%, and the Google users have it at 50%. With a box office of $10.8 million at the box office, this horror film came out May 20th, 2020. A young woman goes on a solo vacation to the English countryside following the death of her ex-husband. Starring Jesse Buckley, Rory Kinner, Papa Isidu, Gail Rankin, Sarah Twomey, and directed by Alex Garland. Speaking of Alex Garland, we always have a little director highlight before we dig into the movie. Alex Garland really known for just directing Annihilation, Ex Machina, and Men. Guys, out of those three films, which one would probably be your favorite? I think everybody's probably going to agree on Ex Machina.
Yeah.
That's mine for sure.
So
Let's
let's
shout.
dig into it, guys. Let's dig into Men. It's a strange movie, like I said. You guys can check it out. It's currently you can rent it on Prime Video for $5.99, or you can purchase it. I'll read it again. A young woman goes on a solo vacation to the English countryside following the death of her ex-husband. First time versus now, guys. I think this was the first time for all of us to watch it, even though it's
Yep.
been out since May. So in a few short words, as soon as the film was over, Ed, what was your thought?
Makes Under the Silver Lake look tame. This is creepy. This is creepy.
Craig?
Under the Silver Lake was just a
Craig?
little stalkerish.
I have two kind of small sentences. First one was turn it off. Second one I sent to our group chat. It was I'm done with A24. So yeah, that was my thoughts.
My instant word as soon as this was over was how.
How what?
How. And why.
You know how. You know why he's asking how.
Yeah, like how. Again, I don't know maybe necessarily if it was good or bad. We're gonna get into it, but yeah, very very interesting, and we are definitely going to get into it today. So let's get ready to go ahead and talk about Men. Meeting Jeffrey and Harper right off the bat, first off, you got the opening scene of James kind of falling from the sky. And as soon as I see him falling, I'm like, is this movie going to end up raining men by the end of the movie? Is it going to be is it going to be raining men? What is this about here? What do you guys think of James's fall from grace?
It was kind of a
Heyo.
What's up?
Nick, we're talking Men. You came in on us as soon as Men was over. What was your thought?
What was I thought?
As soon as you saw
Was,
that scene, and you know what scene we're talking about?
Yeah.
What was your final thought? Because this was the first time watch for you as well, right?
This was the first time watch for me, indeed. Just a lot of so much confusion going on. It was like, this is A24. It's like it's arts, but it's disturbing at the same time.
I like that. I like how you said confusion, and you know what? This is just A24. So, and you know what? I don't think we could talk about an A24 horror film if we didn't have Nick from Friday the 14th on. So, kind of just came in here on us on the backside. Came in right here on the backside on us. So, had to just bring you in and talk about some A24 with us. So, what about you guys? Ed was just getting ready to talk about the fall from heaven from James.
kind of at this point, you're going like, okay, what's going on here? Is this, a suicide? Is it just like was pushed, got in a fight with somebody? You're going, what happened here? You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, are they going forward from this? Is this a backtrack kind of thing? It's kind of like, what's next? So this caught my attention because it's just like, okay, I want to know the story. I want to bite into that apple, that proverbial apple. So it's just kind of like, what's next in that matter for me, at least with this particular scene.
Craig, Nick, you guys want to jump in? What did you think? You know, I really did think it's A24. At the end of the movie, that it's going to be Raining Men. That's literally what I thought.
I honestly had no clue. I was just like, what the hell's going on?
I mean, honestly,
I just don't know. Like I've learned to tell myself, do not expect anything with A24. So
I mean, kind of like 4K bad guys said over here. It's kind of a disturbing as well as art, and it's kind of they like twists. They like it's either one or the other. It's either Marcel the Shell or the Lighthouse kind of thing. It's almost nothing in between. It's one or the other. So you're kind of wondering, okay, what's going on here? What's the twist? This is the same guy that did Ex Machina. So what is he doing here? Kind of deal. Yeah, you just go forward from that first scene, and I personally just let them explain the story.
And
Yeah.
I agree. If you just sit back and let it explain out to you, you do get a very well, simple, creepy, eerie, very well shot horror film. And it starts going crazy in the last 20
20,
minutes or
30.
so. But you meet Jeffrey, you meet Harper. What do you guys think of the stuff that gets real juicy with the flashbacks? And again, this is a brand new movie, so if you guys haven't seen it, go check it out now. You can rent it because everything after this is we're gonna be spoiling the hell out of it. So we're at an hour and 1 minute. If you're listening to us audio wise, go back, listen, or watch the movie, and then come back and check us out, finish us up. Because throughout the whole movie, you get the flashbacks of what led to the divorce. You get the James and the Harper arguing scenes, which I'm not a fan of arguing on screen unless it's Marriage Story. Because let's face it, here that's some of the best dialogue ever written. But it worked very, very well in this movie. James and Harper arguing throughout the whole movie to get to have when they're done, he punches the hell out of her and it gets physical. What did you guys think? Did you like the flashbacks of the arguing? Craig, we can start with you, and then we'll go down to
yeah.
Nick.
I mean, it's so. I mean, you see, obviously, you see him falling from the sky at the beginning of the movie, and then you see that when they start the flashbacks, they're talking, they're arguing. She has a bloody nose, so like some shit's going on. They had issues, and I think it does a good mix of adding the past to the now, because you understand why she's on her own. You understand why she moved to this place to be secluded. And so it's a nice mixture between the two, and it doesn't, the flashbacks don't hinder the story. If anything, it kind of accelerates it and pushes it forward, because you're getting two stories at once, and they're kind of they're colliding. You're figuring out the main plot of the story as well as the flashbacks, all kind of in the same timeline. And so I think it's set up pretty well.
You're peeling back that onion
every time.
Man, no, I'll agree. I mean, honestly, with the flashbacks, they added a bit more realism for that matter. I mean, anybody who's been in a relationship, marriage, not marriage, even a past relationship that, has been over for a while or is over currently, arguing is a real thing of life. It happens, two people do not always agree, so with that going into it, I, was like, okay, yeah, and some people take it to that extreme to where, well, if I can't live without you, then I just don't want to live, kind of thing.
That's relationship status 101 by Edward right here, guys.
Well, I'm just saying, I like the realism. It comes from a realistic point. With that, the suicide thought as well as the punch, those are some of the extreme sides of it. Unluckily, she got to handle that. So, I mean, there's that part of it that is unlucky. But, unfortunately, it does happen. That's another part of that realism. And that's on both sides of that coin, not just the one. So, yeah.
Yeah. Nick, you're the horror fanatic, man. What did you think of this being like subtitled a horror film? Did you feel horror vibes throughout the entire movie, or when did you kind of feel those vibes? And do you think it's okay to call this a horror movie?
Well, in the first part of the movie, I was kind of we got you in. No, just wait. No, wait. um, but I would say it's whenever you get to like the tunnel area,
Oh,
you start getting that creepy, get the chills. Like it's just very unsettling. It starts off real light, and then it gets all creepy and shit.
Well, how creepy is like she's doing the echoes in the tunnel? How creepy is it that they set it up to have like that song kind of take over her echoes, and it's like, I'm like, dude, I never want to hear this song again in my life.
That was really creative.
And not only after the echo, but like as soon as she does another loud one, when she's almost in the middle of the tunnel, what were you guys thinking honestly when you saw that shadow figure pop out of the other end and just start running towards her?
Under the Silver Lake?
Yeah.
Because it was like the exact same thing in that movie. Like he's getting chased by somebody.
But you couldn't even see the figure though. Like it's just a shadow.
So, yeah, I mean, you kind of think that there's just something in the woods that maybe resembled a man. And that's why they're like, that's kind of where I was getting like, okay, it's probably something that looks like a man. And so there's like this big group of them or something. And that's why they called men. But I was like, dude, when he starts chasing her in that tunnel, like, nope, I'm getting out. Nope.
Yeah. What the movie called Men, I was expecting men. And you started off the movie with a man falling off. It's like, nope, you are misled.
That's just one. That's just man.
That's man.
There's no men, there's man.
Okay, maybe it is misleading, but
well, I mean, so I think the biggest part of the title is because the main men group, for that matter, in that little country town or whatever, like all the guys at the bar, the cop, the woods guy, for that matter, the owner of the house or the landlord, all these different guys are basically played by the same dude. So it's kind of making itself known that, like, hey, this is, in a way, all men are kind of the same. It's not necessarily true cookie cutter, but it's kind of going with that. And I think this, honestly, I'm going to say, like, some people will call it misogynistic, or some people will call it, like, it kind of, either way. But I think a lot of it was her. Like, her mind playing tricks on her, for that matter, because she's mulling all this stuff over. She's walking out in this entire different area alone, for that matter, maybe feeling very vulnerable. And I mean, honestly, when you feel vulnerable, your head plays tricks on you. Your eyes, they play tricks on you. So I mean, to me, I'm kind of like, okay, I don't think necessarily a lot of this was, I'm going to kind of hate to say this, but kind of like Fight Club-ish. A lot of it was kind of just like inner thoughts, and I'm not saying like the blood and all that stuff where it didn't happen. I'm just saying, like, her seeing the same person in that guy, in everybody, was not necessarily actuality. It was just in her head being processed as this, because she's going through a grief stage, just basically was trying to divorce this guy, commit suicide, and all that. And at this point,
did he really commit suicide?
Well, no, that's why I said it. We'll get to that at the end.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, her brain is processing a ton of stuff right now, and it's kind of one of those things to where, when you go looking for trouble, trouble finds you. And I'm not saying she's looking for trouble, but her mind isn't paying attention to a lot. It's singularly focused. She's trying to get out and get her head clear, but it's not. It keeps on hitting at her, over and over again. And that's why I kind of think this I don't know, that it's my own interpretation on that. So
Well, that's
take
what
that out
I
as
mean.
is.
I mean, if you're going with that, I would almost do the whole fantasy booking of that she's being haunted.
Yeah.
Not that she's, to me, and I don't know how you guys want to. You guys can jump in and agree to disagree, but I think this is more of a ghost story than anything.
Well, I mean, I'll agree with that because literally, like at the end when she's talking on the couch, I kind of feel like that's her mulling it over and thinking like, if I'd said this, would it have been different? Like, what would have been different? Could I have?
And I think it's real simple. You can dig in and look at it any other ways you want to, but I really do think that at the end of the day, it's a ghost story, and her ex-husband committing suicide just haunted her everywhere she went.
Oh yeah,
and I feel like the reason everybody looks like the guy who kind of brought her in the house is because that's the first guy that she saw.
Yep.
And that's why she's just
Protected.
like everybody. She's protecting it that way. Yeah, I agree.
But this, Nick, what about you? What do you think? Do you think, if you had to kind of guess what was really going on with her, would you? What are some of your inner thoughts about the movie?
Well, I mean, you would probably go into like deep thought, like after witnessing like guy commit suicide and all that, and your mind just processing it, and I'm not really sure how long she stayed out there, like on that Airbnb type thing.
It could have been 2 days, or I don't truly know the actual time frame. But I mean,
I don't think it ever truly says the time frame, but I don't think it was that long.
I wouldn't even say. I would say less than a week for sure.
Within the week, yeah.
Yeah,
Probably.
like maybe 4 days.
But so I mean, she sees after she's running through the tunnel, she sees you see the dude standing there, butt ass naked, and she takes the picture of him. Were you just kind of like, okay, this is going to be like a guy in a raincoat type thing? Or like what were you guys kind of leaning towards with how it was going to go?
I was not expecting the nudity.
No, not really.
This movie gives me a lot of It Follows vibes. Yeah.
That's fair.
What are you talking about, Craig? Like when when we first see the naked man, where did we think it was going to go?
Like, what did you think he was? Like, just a guy in a raincoat type stalker, or like
the poster to me kind of like when I saw that, it kind of just made me realize that maybe Jeffrey, and then we're talking about that guy right there in the middle, it made me feel like Jeffrey was involved the entire time. So whether it be the nude man or, at the time I didn't think that they were the same in one, but I just thought that Jeffrey, was behind unleashing the nude man, and Jeffrey's going to come back and just Jeffrey Dahmer her ass up. So I originally didn't think it was any kind of weird A24 ghost story. I just originally thought that Jeffrey is a psycho and he's going to come back and have his way
because Jeffrey was the landlord and she would call him.
Right.
Yeah.
Trusted mail and all that kind of betray kind of deal.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Almost like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of thing, to where, they would use the Hicks as like the kidnappers to bring them back to the house. She's already in the house, so he doesn't have to do that. But I thought the old guy was a part of the,
or
keeping her in the house.
We're talking A24, Assault X.
Yeah.
They rent out a house and the lady says, no, don't make the guy mad, but really the woman is the crazy one. But we'll talk about that later. But I realized shit was getting wild whenever the police officer was the same as Jeffrey and the priest was the same as Jeffrey. I was like, okay, this is not a coincidence anymore. Like the plot is starting to thicken.
It's not just you've seen that and that was like meant to be in there, but it was like her vision playing with her. But yeah, it's actual like
these are the same dudes. Yeah.
The bar dude, the forest guy, the nude guy,
policeman,
whatever, the cop, the landlord. I think up to 10 people.
The priest, the child.
Yeah, even the kid for that matter. You know,
did you guys that CGI? Were you guys kind of like, it's off-putting? Like it felt like I was watching. What's that Christmas movie where they're on the train with Tom Hanks?
Express.
Yeah, it felt like that was the face of the kid, and so.
I mean, honestly, all the men. I mean, even though it's the same person, I guess they look fine, but the kid was very off-putting. I'm like, I just keep focusing on the damn face. Like the CGI is kind of.
When he lifted up that mask, I was like, oh, that's some weird shit right now. I was not expecting it to look like that.
You are the father. You are the father. You are the father. You.
It's like a man-child.
Yeah.
So besides the flashbacks of James and Harper, besides the men who all look like Jeffrey, you do get some outstanding filmmaking in this movie. You get the scene where she's walking in the rain on her way to the tunnel, and the score and the surroundings of the outside just look phenomenal. The cinematography of her walking. But let's get to like the meat and potatoes, like, the arm getting stabbed, and then he pulls out the arm. Overall, by the end of what she did with the stabbing and her being haunted by this person, what do you guys just honestly think towards the end when when the priest comes in, you get that awkward bathroom scene where he is talking about her woman parts and he wants to do things to her. What do you guys think? And then she runs away. She runs over Jeffrey. She comes back into the house, and then all of a sudden you just get the birth and the birth.
Well,
dude,
let's kind of go back. I thought when she stabbed the arm, I thought she was going to be like thinking something was happening, and it was going to be her friend that she was talking to about coming, and like her stabbing her. I thought that was going to be a thing. But let's not skip past the part where the dude's standing outside and the lights go off.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then he's gone. I was just like, oh, you're just sitting there with a blanket up. Like
that was the cop, right? Or no?
Yeah.
The cop first, yeah.
Dude, I expected some Get Out type of thing. Dude just like charging towards her, like coming up to the left side, just like
trying to Bobby Boucher her ass.
I was just like, oh
I
shit.
thought, dude honestly should have busted the door down, but because she didn't have it locked when he first hit it.
And I mean, even the subtlety of the phone, the glitching of the phone, showing like her screaming or crying or yelling or whatever it was. I think screaming, but stuff like that was kind of cool, actually. The little subtle things like that, or the snap of the lights off and then vanishes. That happens a couple times, but yeah.
That kind of reminded me of the scene from Halloween 2018.
Oh yeah.
I mean, except in this movie, it's probably done a lot better. It's like, now you see me, now you don't.
Yeah.
It's like, shit.
The bathroom scene when he's talking about like her virginity and the birth, not the birthing, but like, did he talk about like her period? Did he talk about her period in there? Like the whole
he talked about something
aspect of it.
Yeah, he talked about the her of opening the legs and just making. I mean,
and then like that statue tomb thing that they kept showing, where it's like red and it's like the
so
stone carving.
the face side is basically of a rebirth. They're gods basically, and the other side is of fertility. So that was part of what the naked dude or the forest dude. He basically was.
He was like
doing,
carving his face up.
He's
Yeah,
nature.
he was making himself the rebirth, and then or the rebirth, and then basically on the other side, he was part of the fertility as well, because with the birthing scene for that matter, and that was his fertility as well as rebirth coming into one, and then a whole new thing going off. I don't know. Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what kind of drugs they'd be doing before they make these movies, because, like, I've never personally sat there and was like, I'm gonna have a dude birth another dude, who's gonna then birth another dude, who's then gonna open up his mouth and birth a dude through his mouth. Like, I've never.
I mean,
if you guys, and I'm not talking about what you might have read on the internet, Nick, we'll start with you. What do you think the director was trying to say when the birth just, it has to be some kind of like metaphor, or it has
all
to be
men are
just
the same.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
essentially.
Exactly.
And I didn't read anything about this. I was wanting to, but I'm just kind of done with this movie at this point. But I think like she's seeing everybody look the same as the same guy. He's birthing over and over the same guy. And so I'm wanting to think like if we're going Ed's route of her kind of imagining everybody this way in her head, like it's just her thinking like all guys are the same. All guys are going to cheat. All guys are going to do one or the other. They're going to hit. They're going to cuss. They're going to, I'm never going to find a guy who's going to treat me right. They're all going to be evil.
Basically. And that's kind of what I was, yeah.
But I would like to know what his point was, because I hope it's like something not what I'm thinking.
Does this sound bad if I'm like, I could maybe see that if it was a female director?
It does in a way, just
I know that
like,
sounds bad for me, but like I was also thinking maybe he's trying to make it a point with like all men are created equal. You end up making your own choices. So yeah, all men are created and come out equal, but one could end up being a douche police officer. One could end up being a guy who commits suicide. One could end up being a guy who owns the house that wants to make sure that you're comfortable in his Airbnb. One could be a dirty priest that doesn't deserve his job. That's, this movie is just so much that you can just open and just pick your
dissect
poison.
It the way you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there's plenty of openings.
Oh, there is plenty of.
Oh my god!
I thought it was gonna be like
like
a couple of times, but
like I didn't want to rewind, but I was like, hold on, I missed something, because there's no way that I went back 10 seconds and I was like, got it. I know exactly where we are right now. I don't need to see much more than that.
Then you're saying you're gonna pause it. It's like,
No.
oh, don't need to see that. Zoom in.
Was that CGI, or how did they get that guy inside that other guy?
Is that how it works? No.
They should show this in sex ed.
No, they should not.
Oh.
Okay, look,
Well-
man, I think you're confused about your stuff
Nope.
here.
Leave it alone. That's a subject we should not touch.
Hold on a second, though. No. With that subject, hold on. With that subject being brought up from the great and powerful Wizard of Ed, do you think that is a subliminal message that's in the movie about the director thinks about anything like that?
Subliminally, yeah. Because I mean, don't get me wrong,
Like,
you have,
or is this one of those that if it's okay that we find science in a way that certain things can be like brought back from life? I'm not talking some Jurassic Park shit, but maybe the director's trying to say that it's okay for a way, for some way that a male can give birth. I'm just saying, anything's possible.
I think you're kind of really going off on a tangent and off
going
on a
off.
separate path.
Not Jurassic Park shit either. Life finds a way, my friend.
I mean, yeah, it does, but
It's fucking
you
good.
know,
I'll go in Malcolm on your ass right now.
yeah. But I mean, with my thinking, it's kind of just you this direct. Okay, every director has their own thoughts and seeing of what their subject matter is. And whether or not that's brought out in their eyes or from their eyes to your eyes, because they can go ahead and direct this and actually think about it one whole way, and you're thinking about it a whole different way. But I think that it's kind of a film that deals with the misogynistic patriarchy, and it's a film that kind of does put out like all men are kind of the same, and that's why I'm like thinking, is this from her like inner thoughts? You know what I mean? Because she's gotten screwed over by a guy who
I still think it's a
literally went
ghost
and committed
story.
suicide. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying though. It's not
But
necessarily.
you can still take the points
ghost.
from it.
Oh yeah.
It's not a ghost, but it's the ghosts in her head fighting her in her head, for that matter.
Or
You know,
demons.
because I mean, yeah, skeletons, demons, whatever you want to call them. But like you said earlier, Craig, it is the first guy that she's seen other than him, the one that she latches onto, and that's everybody else throughout here. And then at the end of it, she has the talk with him and is
Okay.
like,
So, I'm gonna read off what the director is giving an implement message from
Trying to say.
from an interview from I think it's the rap.com.
Okay.
Rap?
The rap.
But from Alex Garland, in giving each man the same face and using biblical imagery, the film subverts the idea of original sin. Instead of all women initially bearing the sins of Eve, perhaps all men initially bear the violent impulses and the misogynical ideas instilled in them by the practice.
Because there's that tree with the forbidden fruit.
By the
Yeah.
The tree,
See,
the
I mean,
apples.
he's yeah, I got
Because
that.
he saw her eating the fruit. So
And then all the apples fell. But I mean, at the same time, it's kind of like I don't understand that, because is he meaning more Cain and the slaying of Abel, or like that? I don't know.
no, so
It's kind
he's
of-
just saying like
I think he's plucking off a tree that's 50 feet higher than where he's trying.
So you don't believe at all that he's just trying to make a weird A24 Adam and Eve story?
I think it encapsulates that. Because
Yeah.
you're supposed to like it's said that Eve was the first one to bite the apple, right? And so from his point of view, he's saying, what if the shoe was on the other foot and we're the bearer of all sin? That's why he's talking about opening her legs and doing all that. And that's why he's naked, because the leaves, Adam and Eve wear leaves, and the portrayals. So he's naked. He doesn't believe in clothes. Like that's, and then all men are from the same flesh. You know what I mean? So it's all kind of bearing the same face.
Brother.
I think if you in a not a long shot, but in a sense of where he's trying to go, I can see it. Like the imagery is there, but
I don't
I don't
the
want that
execution
imagery.
was there. I just don't think the thought was there. The process kind of was there, but I don't think the execution was there.
Now, what are we going to talk about with this? Like, what's up with that?
What would you want the execution to be if the execution for you wasn't there?
He was about to do it. It was this. He was like, about to choke her out, execute style.
I just don't feel like this film was necessarily like put together as well as it could have been.
I think he did a pretty damn good job for an hour and a half as far as what kind of story he was wanting to tell, with it being a creepy horror movie with different subliminal different messages in it. And I don't know, after kind of reading that I like I said at the beginning of the episode, I thought it was a ghost story at the beginning of the review, and him just putting together a horrific version of an Adam and Eve story. Uh,
That sounds like an A24 film.
yeah,
like
I
it
mean,
just
it's like
does.
the stone deities. Those are actually pre-Christianity, is what I was reading actually.
So what do you mean? Like he's not allowed to put those in the movie, or
No, I
No, I
mean
think he's just
imagery.
like
No, those are just before Christianity. So those are representing what
the
later
ideals
evolved
based off
into.
of.
Kind of, sorta, yeah. But no, that was just kind of an interesting fact that I found. That's all that was. Nothing necessarily based off of or really too much deeper than that.
you can also look at it as like it could be a ghost story, but it could also be just James haunting her throughout the whole damn movie. You know.
Yeah.
What did you
Another
guys?
A24 movie with tons to take in, and you can pretty much take it anywhere you want.
Mm.
The idea of art. Art is in the eye of the beholder. I think that's the phrase.
It was beauty.
I made it sound really good. I even did the hand gesture. So
Art.
I hope it's. Johnny, what do you think? Art is just. You can perceive it however you want.
Art is
Yeah.
subjective.
Subjective,
art is subjective, and I think when you have something this insane and this much almost kind of idea behind it, um, like I said, and it's not like he threw together just some random actors and actresses and told them to try to do anything. They put together they put together some pretty good performances, and then when you look back at the cinematography, uh, shot on location, how much greenery was in the actual story and the scenes of the camera, the way the long shots were just outstanding.
There wasn't much greenery in my eyes, you know?
Do we know what the dandelion things were about? Like planting the seed of something, or
Basically just rebirth of that. A lot of this visual subliminals were about rebirthing, for that matter. A lot of it was, and that kind of was just, like you said, part of the seed, you know.
I'm
I
still
mean,
trying to. I don't know what to
it's
think.
trippy.
Now imagine combining this with High Life, Johnny.
Oh my god.
Like that's how you birth up in the.
Yeah, High Life was pretty strange. Um,
There was no box in this movie though.
no box, not yet anyway. What about favorite scenes? You guys want to get into maybe some of your favorite scenes? Nick, we'll start with you. Do you have a favorite scene or two?
Favorite scene or two? I really did enjoy that tunnel scene. Just that's how they start out the creepiness of the movie. I thought the scene where one of the men puts his hand through the little envelope slot area. Thought that was pretty cool, and just how like slowly the arm just gets pulled back and he's getting cut through. Like
Reminiscent of Saul.
Yeah.
he was playing the game.
Very reminiscent of Saul.
Or reminiscent of when Freddy Krueger's tongue gets stabbed in Wes Craven's New Nightmare, and he backs away and he gets the little
Snake
slithering tongue.
Mhm.
Food for thought. Those are some good scenes. I think the scene that just like Nick said, the scene that's above all scenes is where she's going towards the tunnel. From the moment she starts walking in the rain, the score setting up the tunnel scene is probably one of the best scenes I've seen all year long. The cinematography of the wide shot, using the lens and the camera to his advantage, beautifully shot.
And the shadows keeping the figure unknown.
Yes, you could put that shot up against anything this calendar year, and I think it's going to be top 5. I'm also very I enjoyed also the car scene where Jeffrey gets hit and then he just breaks it after that. So um, some very very eerie feeling scenes for sure.
Yeah.
Craig, what about you?
I think we're all kind of in the same boat. The tunnel scene with them changing the music to fit her echoes, um, it's just truly haunting. And then the lights flickering and the dude disappearing. I think those are the two that really set this up to be just make it intense. Like if there was anything that this movie did right, it made you feel intense. Like the you could feel it on the back of your neck. It was just like it was shivering.
Eerie.
Yeah.
Edward, favorite scene, or you kind of agree?
I mean, with Nick, the second one he said with the knife, from the popping up and running in, to the knife going out, for that matter. That one was good, as well as some of the imagery. With the naked man at the end, at least, I thought was really cool. When he came out and he had all the leaves and sticks or needles or whatever poking out of his shoulders and back and all that.
The tree
Some
man.
of that was kind of crazy, but really cool. And if they did it with practical effects, I think that's pretty even cooler, for that matter. So yeah.
All right, guys. Star rating 1 through 10. Edward, we'll start with you. How many stars do you give Men?
Might be looked at wrongly for this, but a 5. It was not my cup of tea at all, man. It wasn't.
Nick, star rating.
After the mean, I'm still processing it. So, as right now I'm at a 6 star.
6 stars. I'm going to give this movie a 7. Besides the message and besides the way you want to pick apart what he's trying to say in the movie, the score, cinematography, the setting up the scenes, the ending, the outlandish birth scenes. A horror movie is supposed to make you feel uncomfortable. This movie makes me feel uncomfortable. We've talked about it numerous times that a horror movie is not a horror movie unless it has a creepy, eerie score, soundtrack. This movie has that. The sick imagery, the sick and sounding dialogue. This movie is just uncomfortable. And I got to give this one a 7 for now. I don't know how it's going to act on the rewatch, but for right now, it gets a 7 for me. Craig?
I'm giving it a 6. Watching it, I was kind of confused what was going on. Like, yes, it was intense, but in the moment, I had no idea how a dude's birthing another dude. Like the horror aspect of the movie, where it was intense and they were chasing her, and the quote unquote action or fight scenes, like all of those were good. But like during the movie, I'm just like, why does this dude look like he's from Polar Express? Why do these two dudes look the same? Like, I didn't understand the ideology behind what he was trying to accomplish. So maybe that's just me, but for the watch, I'm giving it a 6.
Let us know your star rating of Men, and you guys, we will share it on next week's episode, right here on the Cinema Movie Podcast, facebook.com/the Cinema Movie Podcast. The Instagram is all one word, the Cinema Movie Podcast. The Twitter is at Cinemen405, and then the email, which is the easiest and fastest way to get a hold of us, CINEMEN921 at gmail.com. I think it's going to be pretty fun. For now, we can get into the email bag.
The mail's here.
Nick, though, before we get into the mailbag, man, let everybody know where can they follow you at.
Okay, you can follow me at the 4K Bad Guy. You can check out me on this channel, Emo Small Productions. Follow Wrestling Tacos. Yo,
All the
Yeah.
wrestling content.
all the wrestling content and no tacos maybe in the future.
They can also hit you up on the Instagram,
Yeah.
the IG, which this Wednesday you guys can find Nick and Mr. Fuentes and myself talk about Countdown this Wednesday on Friday the 14th podcast, 8 p.m. So yeah, should be a fun episode. I've only seen it one time, so we'll see.
That's all it needs.
Edward, just because you let your woman pick that over the Joker doesn't mean you need to hate on it every single time. Have you seen it since?
No.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why.
I bet you still let her pick movies too, huh?
Every now and then.
Gabby says Men was disturbing and unsettling. Honestly, when does it cross the line, and can this still be considered art?
Oh,
That's fair.
What do you guys think? Is there a line that can be crossed in film? And
Yes.
if you had to say, what movie comes to mind about just crossing the line?
Human Centipede.
Crossing the line, crossing the line. How does that movie cross the line for you?
because it's wild.
Yeah.
Wow.
Have you ever seen it?
Yeah,
You've seen all three?
yeah.
Dude, yeah, no.
I mean, I can see that, but I really do think it depends on the viewer.
And
Like
that's
you
true.
you could even say, oh yeah, Antichrist can cross the line.
Yeah.
You could, but you know what? At the end of the day, you can say, you know what? Flying monkeys, witchcraft and wizardry from the Wizard of Oz can cross the line. You smile, but I
No.
argue. I mean, can be considered art still? Fuck yeah, it can still be considered art. A sandwich with just bologna and cheese can be considered art. If a movie is not your cup of tea after one watch, guess what? Your opinion doesn't really fucking matter. It's still art. Go out and watch Power Rangers Turbo or some shit.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I just kind of feel it kind of just hit me in the feels because yes, a person put their hard-earned money, their sweat,
Not their
blood,
money.
and their sweat, their blood, and their tears into that film. So it doesn't matter what movie it is. The line can be crossed, yes.
Well, it's like
but
music.
but at the end of the day, it's still considered art.
It's like music.
But so what is your thought of a line crossed movie?
A line crossed movie.
Because I mean, don't get me wrong.
Anything with Amy
It's just-
Schumer.
The same thing can go with anything on social media. Anything on social media, anything in the mainstream of movies, indie movies, or whatever, can be said the same thing for any of that kind of stuff. Not everything is a diamond in the rough. And just because you think it, sometimes it should not be out there. Sometimes
Who's saying
keep it
something
up.
is that diamond in the rough? I'm saying that a movie can still be considered art. You're saying that stuff can't be considered art?
Correct.
How could a movie not be considered art?
I mean, don't get me wrong. If you know,
That's like
you go
saying,
into
oh, what if a songwriter puts together a
The
4-sentence song?
songwriter.
Yeah. What if a songwriter puts together a song? He may think it's shit, but everybody else ends up thinking it's one of the greatest
The
songs
shit.
ever. So
But I mean, don't get me wrong,
at the end of the day,
there's
that's art.
there's several artists out there that put out songs that they think are going to be horrible, and all of a sudden it's one of the top charted songs out there. There's movies out there. I'm not going to want to go and watch, an hour and a half worth of a rape fest, movie. Like,
I Spit
it's
on
not
Your
art,
Grave.
you
You
know?
know what? That movie can be considered maybe crossing the line, but guess what? Just because it's not your cup of tea, that guess what?
But
At the end of the day, that's still art.
but you're still avoiding my question. What is yours that you consider cross the
I
line?
just said, I Spit on Your Grave.
Okay, thank you. I didn't know if that was your answer. or
Almost
just,
6 or 7 different rape scenes. The only thing you don't see is fucking intercourse in the movie. But even though that's not my cup of tea, and I wouldn't pick that
That's the
movie to watch
ideology
again,
behind it.
it's still art. Arguing that something like that is not art is going to be until you're blue in the face all day. I think until somebody breaks down and puts something like that on screen, I mean, you said the Human Centipede is crossing the line. You don't consider that art?
Personally, no.
Somebody edited it, somebody put a score together, somebody casted somebody, and
Just 'cause
somebody
you
put it up on a
effort
big
into
screen.
Something does not mean that it is good.
I'm
Does
not
not
saying
mean
that
that
it's
it's
good,
art.
but I'm saying that it's still considered art. There's a reason that there is directors and that there are screenwriters. I mean, unless
There's
you
a
think
reason that we're not in that, and there's a reason they are.
unless you think that every bologna sandwich at Subway is art, then that's art.
They're
They
supposedly
are
called
sandwich
artists.
crafters.
Jared
Artists.
says Bodies was fun. Definitely wasn't what
Jared.
I was expecting. But it was original. I give it a 6. If you
Was
don't
it Jared from
understand
Subway?
if you don't understand satire, I don't think you'll like it.
That's kind of fair. That's fair.
Coco Chris says Under the Silver Lake is underrated and phenomenal. Andrew Garfield kills it. 9 stars. Henry says Bodies was extremely sour, not in a good way, not a good movie. 4 stars. Nick, you got to go see Bodies last week.
Oh,
You got to go see Bodies in the theater. What how many stars would you give it?
how many stars? Oh, if you take off the horror element out of it, I'll give it a 7.
Were you in the house board?
Huh? Oh, the stars? No, boy. You know, when I went to go see the movie, I was actually the only one there.
Oh my god.
Oh, shit.
I was like, oh, this feels nice. Now, like, if anything went down, like, just be all paranoid. Look to the side. Before I let you continue on, I just want to say, like, you're always talking about sandwiches, and then a person named Jared had an email.
Jared.
Coincidence?
We're
Jared
talking
from
about
Subway?
Subway and then
Maybe
Jared
he's
from
a Subway guy.
I was like,
Did he
I hope he's
email
not
from
the
jail?
Subway.
Yeah, hopefully he's not the
No.
Subway guy.
I watch it, you know.
That is not art.
no.
Sarah97 says Men was completely insane, but in a good way. 9 stars.
There you go.
Sam G69. I completely hated Under the Silver Lake. It was such a waste of time, a waste of Andrew Garfield, and a script gone wrong. 4 stars.
Damn.
Oof.
Rough words.
We're sorry. We're sorry.
Daniel says the Leprechaun wasn't that bad of a watch. Like Juan says, I think it's a 7. It's a classic. Yeah. I'm getting thrown under the bus. That's a big ass bus if it's running me over. You know what Leprechaun is? I'm still gonna give it out of the 5 butter knives, Nick. I'm still gonna give it a 1. I don't know, man.
Ooh.
A 1.
A 1. I didn't go back and check out the second one yet, but I think I'm gonna try to watch it this week. But you said it's worth a watch, so
For a couple of things.
couple of breasticles. Wow. Jeffrey says seen Beast this past weekend. Highly recommend it. 8 stars.
All right.
Beast. Anybody go see it this weekend?
No.
Idris Elba is putting out movies like nothing. He's got that weird genie looking A24 vibes movie. He's got Beast, and then I think he's got something else coming out before the year's over. So
He was just wasn't he just in a film?
I think
Knuckles?
he was.
Sonic 2? Yeah,
Yeah, I think he was. And he also had a little didn't he have a little cameo in Thor?
Thor? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the dude just
I mean, it's just like, I need some money.
yeah.
Give me some money.
Well, he was in that commercial.
Speaking of the 3000 Wishes movie, does anybody look interested in going and seeing that? Where he plays the
I
big
would
ass
say
genie?
haven't seen it.
Kind of.
It's Idris Elba. you got to see something. I think he's good in every movie he does.
Unless the movie crosses the line, then you may not want to go see it.
It's not art. At what point? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna go there.
Barry wants to say, this is funny. We'll end it with this one. Barry wants to say, Bodies was okay. I enjoyed the end, but I enjoyed Craig and Ed's argument more than I did the entire movie. The movie gets a 6, but the conversation gets a 9.
What was the
There
argument?
you go.
The
Honestly, I
bronze,
don't.
the bronze panties, where Ed was trying to justify that it doesn't.
Yeah. Go ahead, tell him who won the argument.
Shit.
Dude, the broad panties don't mean nothing to the movie.
Fucking, huh? Fucking walking blindly over there.
I technically am blind, so
You know
get
what
canceled.
the best part of having the
I
powers
got
that be
these
is that
motherfuckers.
I can do this. Oh,
Whoa. Back to 3.
that's the powers that be.
Did he leave?
No,
Oh,
he's still there. But no, yeah, you guys continue. That's what's the most fun about this podcast is when we all have a movie
Stupid
that
take.
a movie that we don't agree on, and we get to just go at it for a few hours. You know, it's
we
always
need to
fun.
have a let's get ready to rumble sound on this.
Yeah.
Oh no, we can't, because then we gotta start paying royalties.
Yeah,
To
we
Bruce
paid
Buffer.
Yeah,
No.
Michael
no.
Buffer.
Or, oh shit. Okay.
that Buffer family is.
Get it ready to
I mean, I
rumble.
could
We
probably try to do something along.
You can do the Triple H one and cut it off right before he says "suck it," because he's like,
He's all-
"Let's get ready to." Yeah.
So,
But yeah, if you guys have a movie you guys want to hear us complain about, bitch about, hit us up. You know, we
We'll
got
be here next week.
we will.
Lion
We
King
have,
Part 2.
I like this one. Men is a true story of how babies come out of your tummy. Hey, I do want to say one more thing. With how outlandish this movie was, are you guys surprised that no baby came out of the pee hole?
I kind of was looking for that next.
You were
after
looking.
the
No, I
mouth.
thought Ed was gonna be like, I was looking forward to that, dude.
After the mouth,
Well,
it was
I
kinda
was
like,
totally looking
okay.
for the PP.
I bet y'all were, but you know,
I was you if you didn't catch that.
I didn't catch that. I didn't say that.
Dude.
But
I really wanted to see it
okay.
come out of there for that matter. There, is that Ed?
You liked the Hero-gasm episode, didn't you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh God.
Speaking of gasms, guys, we are in our last sad face A24 episode coming up next Monday, August 29th. We talk episode 208. We talk.
Is it that time already?
It's that time. Next week is our last A24 episode. Mia Goth.
Just talked about her.
We did. She was in High Life. So check it out next Monday. I think it's going to be a fun episode. It's going to be a fun conversation. And it's another fun horror movie. So, Nick, if you feel like hopping on and joining us for X next week.
getting that itch.
Getting that itch to talk another horror movie. And, you know, it doesn't stop there. Monday, September the 5th, we're talking The Black Phone. So I think that's going to be a fun episode to kick off the month of September. And then the 4-year anniversary episode, Monday, September the 12th. We dig back into Denzel Washington and we're talking Philadelphia for our 4-year anniversary episode. We are also having a special guest on. I'll go ahead and say his name now. I haven't got to talk to you personally yet in person, but I believe his name is Jay Curry. He is a film director from Australia. We will have him live Monday, September the 12th. He has directed the new movie Beat, an Australian film You can go check it out now on Vudu, wherever you buy movies. If you guys want to follow him, just Instagram JYECURRIE, or you can go to greenfrogproductions.com, and we're going to talk to him Monday, September 12th, as he joins us for the Philadelphia episode. 4-year anniversary. We got to talk to a director from Australia, halfway across the world. I think it's going to be fun. So you guys don't want to miss that. And we get to talk Denzel Washington. So how fun is that going to be? Nick, man, before we head out of here, you want to say anything else before we skip a doodle?
Skip a doodle. Thanks for having me on. I mean, it's always a pleasure coming in, talking to the men, the Cine-Men, for the men episode. I was kind of hoping to hear a Wangasm.
You know what? We only have a few more episodes of A24 left. We have
I'm just saving that.
We have Men. We have First Cow this Thursday. And then next Monday, we have X. All these A24
That sounded
movies.
very struggled.
It was wet too. So all these A24 movies. I can't wait. And then you know what, Nick?
You can only ejaculate so much, right?
August 31st. August 31st. Friday the 14th. UHD. We're talking Tusks. So you're giving me the gift that just keeps on giving, man. You're giving me the gift to just keep talking A24 on somebody else's podcast. And I think that's just extremely thoughtful of you. So I appreciate it.
Johnny did that during Bodies.
I did.
For the episode or the movie?
The logo came up on the screen in the theater, and he was like, ugh.
That's all I think about when I see A24.
And yeah, the theater
That's when that baby started crying.
The theater was silent. Yeah. You know, I'm surprised. I haven't gotten any negative emails yet about the baby. I think it's coming though.
Because everybody understands and agrees.
Yeah. Ed, what about you? You have anything else that you want to bring to the table before we go to X next week?
Nah, man, looking forward to it.
This first time watch for you, right?
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Looking forward to it. Can go ahead and put this one in the ground and let it lay for a while. This is Ed. I'll see you on the silver screen.
Craig, anything before we go to X next week?
College football starts this Saturday. I know we had kind of talked about it a little bit. I really do think that we should give it a shot. I might lead it. Might do like a Tuesday sports podcast, kind of going over the previous week and maybe some thoughts on the week, the next week's action. So we'll talk about that a little bit more. Maybe we can get that going, not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after. So maybe just give it a trial run.
Anything you're excited about going? And this is going to be your second view of X, though, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna rewatch it. I'm excited to see
Mia Goff.
I don't want to say it because it's a spoiler, but yeah, I'm excited to see certain parts of the movie.
Should be interesting. Don't forget, join us next week as A24 month comes to an end. Next week, we talk X, episode 208, next Monday, August 29th, right here on the Cine-Men